Solaris recoiled in horror as he watched Ambassador Tyler Allen brutally snap the neck of the last remaining alien terrorist, the human's face spattered with alien blood and his knuckles bruised from hand-to-hand combat. Solaris had always thought the rumors about humanity's formidable combat abilities were exaggerated. Now he knew the shocking truth. Humans were far more deadly than he ever imagined. When Solaris first arrived on Earth as the Cation ambassador, he expected a routine diplomatic mission to establish relations with a relatively young species. The Cation had sent ambassadors to dozens of alien worlds before. This was just another assignment. But from the moment the human ambassador Tyler Allen greeted him, Solaris sensed something different about this species. Tyler projected an aura of quiet confidence and strength, his posture always alert and his eyes keenly observant. As Tyler gave Solaris a tour of Earth's gleaming megacities that stretched to the horizon, packed with cutting-edge technology and engineering marvels, the pieces started coming together in Solaris's mind. Humans had achieved a staggering level of advancement in an extremely short time. Their cities, vehicles, and devices displayed innovation and resourcefulness beyond what Solaris had seen in races with centuries more development. And when the terrorist attack struck their diplomatic convoy, shattering the windows of their transport with plasma blasts, Tyler reacted with breathtaking speed and lethality. The human ambassador drew a previously concealed kinetic pistol in a flash, dropping two of the attackers with precise headshots, even as he dove across the seat to shield Solaris. Tyler then leapt out of the damaged vehicle, moving with a fluidity and sureness that Solaris had never seen in a diplomat. In seconds, Tyler had neutralized the remaining terrorists in a hail of gunfire and expertly delivered blows, blood spraying across the street. As he huddled in the ruined transport, hearts racing, Solaris realized he needed to completely reassess everything he thought he knew about humanity. He had assumed they were just another young race, making their first tentative steps into the galactic community. How could he have been so wrong? As their tour of Earth continued after the attack, Solaris learned more and more disturbing facts about the human species. Facts that shook him to his core and made him question if the Cation were truly ready to engage with a species this formidable and unpredictable. Humanity's entire history was defined by war and conflict. Over thousands of years, they had perfected the art of combat, developing arsenals ranging from primitive blades to weapons that could scorch planets. Millions of humans had died in their ceaseless wars against each other, fueling an arms race and waves of technological breakthroughs. Their wars had bred a human physiology incredibly adaptable and resilient. They could survive grievous injuries, harsh conditions, and environments that would kill a Cation in minutes. Humans could heal and bounce back with astonishing speed. Humans saw every situation through the lens of conflict. They weaponized their own bodies through training and augmentation. They weaponized their environments, always searching for an edge. Even innocuous items like cleaning chemicals were assessed for potential lethality in a human's cunning mind. But most unsettling of all was the human will to fight, their sheer determination and drive to overcome any obstacle or foe no matter the odds. Solaris saw it in Tyler's eyes. This human would keep fighting with his last breath, would push through unimaginable pain and hardship, would never stop until victorious. That iron will had propelled humans to the stars, to colonize harsh alien worlds, and carve out a vast interstellar empire in the blink of a cosmic eye. And now Solaris couldn't shake the feeling that he was trapped on a planet of billions of warriors just like Tyler Allen, all honed by millennia of war, driven by that relentless human spirit. The thought sent chills down his spine. When an emergency transmission came in that a rogue Cation faction had brazenly attacked a human colony, Solaris knew with dreaded certainty that his species had just made a terrible mistake. The Cation had no idea of the sleeping giant they had just provoked. Solaris could only watch in awe and terror as a human battle fleet mobilized with startling speed to avenge the attack, Tyler in command. He had never seen such military might, tactical brilliance, and ferocity in action as the humans ruthlessly crushed the Cation insurgents. In that moment, Solaris realized the Cation's only hope was to forge an alliance with humanity, to ensure they never ended up on the wrong side of human fury again. The alternative was too horrific to imagine. A war with Earth would end in swift and total Cation defeat. But even as Tyler extended the hand of friendship after the battle, Solaris couldn't shake his unease over humanity's shocking capabilities and violent nature. Could the humans truly be trusted? Did they even know how to exist in peace? Or would humanity's intrinsic need for conflict and conquest inevitably make them a threat to the galaxy itself? As Solaris shook Tyler's hand, he shuddered imperceptibly, realizing he had no choice but to find out. The future of his species hung in the balance, and Solaris now bore the terrible weight of deciding if befriending humanity would be the Cation's salvation or their damnation. The shuttle ride back to Earth was tense and silent. Tyler sat rigid, his mind racing as he processed the implications of humanity's true capabilities being revealed. Solaris stared out the viewport, lost in thought. Upon landing, Tyler received an urgent summons to a classified military briefing. He made his way through the labyrinthine underground complex, passing through multiple security checkpoints before entering a stark conference room. General Hawthorne, a grizzled veteran with piercing eyes, got straight to the point. Ambassador Allen, the Cations now know what we're capable of. Intelligence suggests they're rattled. We need you to continue your diplomatic mission, but with an additional objective. Tyler leaned forward. Sir? While maintaining friendly relations, gather intel on Cation tech and defenses. We need to know what we're dealing with. Tyler nodded, conflicted. He respected Solaris, but understood the necessity. Meanwhile, Solaris approached Tyler with a request. I'd like to see one of your military installations, to better understand your capabilities. Tyler hesitated, then agreed. I'll take you to Facility Omega, but there are areas off limits, understood? They toured the sprawling base, Solaris marveling at the advanced weaponry and vehicles on display. As they entered a research wing, klaxons suddenly blared. Red emergency lights bathed the corridors. Containment breach in Lab 7, a voice boomed over the intercom. Unknown entity loose. This is not a drill. Tyler grabbed Solaris and sprinted down the hall. They rounded a corner to see chaos, scientists fleeing in terror as a shimmering, otherworldly creature phased through walls. It latched onto a guard, who collapsed as his life force was drained. What is that thing? Solaris cried. Psionic vampire, Tyler shouted, drawing his sidearm. He fired, but the rounds passed harmlessly through the entity. More guards arrived, unleashing a barrage of weapons fire to no effect. The creature continued its rampage, leaving drained husks in its wake. Tyler's eyes widened as he remembered Solaris's unique abilities. Your psionic powers, they might work. Solaris nodded grimly. He stepped forward, fur overflowing as he focused his mind. The air crackled with psychic energy. The entity whirled to face them, sensing a new threat. It lunged at Solaris, who unleashed a massive psionic blast. The creature recoiled, its form destabilizing. Now, Tyler! Solaris shouted. Tyler grabbed a strange gun from a nearby weapons rack. He took aim and fired. A beam of psionic energy struck the weakened entity, which shrieked and dissolved into nothingness. In the aftermath, as medical teams tended to survivors, Tyler discovered the truth. Humans had been secretly studying the entity, developing psionic weapons. Solaris was aghast. You're meddling with forces beyond your comprehension. This research must stop immediately. We need these weapons, Tyler argued, to defend against threats like that thing. Their heated debate was cut short by an urgent alert. A Cation battle fleet was detected on approach to human space. Tyler's stomach dropped. The situation was spiraling out of control. He had to find a way to prevent all-out war, and fast. But as he dug deeper, he uncovered disturbing evidence. Signs that an unknown third party was manipulating both sides, pushing them towards conflict. He turned to Solaris, their recent argument forgotten in the face of this new threat. We need to work together. Someone's playing us both for fools. Solaris nodded reluctantly. Agreed. But can we trust each other after all this? Tyler had no answer. Trust between their species was badly damaged. But they had no choice. They had to unravel this conspiracy before it was too late, even as mistrust and philosophical differences threatened to tear them apart. Tyler's heart pounded as he sprinted through the military complex, his mind racing. The alert about an incoming Cation fleet blared through the facility, but something felt off. He burst into the communications center, startling the technicians. "Pull up all incoming transmissions from the Cation fleet," Tyler barked. As data scrolled across the screens, Tyler's eyes narrowed. He spotted inconsistencies, patterns that didn't match standard Cation protocols. Digging deeper, he uncovered layers of falsified data, carefully crafted to incite conflict. "This is all fabricated," Tyler muttered. "Someone's playing us." He rushed to confront General Hawthorne and the other military leaders gathered in the war room. The atmosphere was tense, officers shouting orders as they prepared for imminent conflict. "Stand down!" Tyler yelled, slamming his hands on the central hollow table. "The intel is fake. We're being manipulated." General Hawthorne's face reddened. "Ambassador, you're out of line. We have confirmed reports." "Your reports are lies," Tyler interrupted, pulling up the evidence he'd uncovered. "Look at the data patterns. This isn't Cation." The room fell silent as the officers examined Tyler's findings. Doubt crept into their expressions, but Hawthorne remained unconvinced. "Even if this is true, we can't risk it," the general growled. "That fleet is real, and it's heading straight for us." Tyler realized he needed help. He discreetly contacted Solaris, explaining the situation. The Cation agreed to meet him in secret. Hours later, Tyler and Solaris huddled over a secure terminal, combing through communication logs and tactical data. "There," Solaris pointed at a string of code. "That encryption, it's Xenan." Tyler's blood ran cold. The Xenan Dominion, a shadowy empire whispered about in intelligence circles. If they were involved, the situation was far worse than he'd imagined. "We need to stop this war before it starts," Tyler said grimly. They formulated a plan to intercept the Cation fleet. As they prepared to leave, the door exploded inward. Xenon assassins poured into the room, energy weapons blazing. Tyler dove for cover, drawing his sidearm. Solaris unleashed a psionic blast, scattering their attackers. The two friends fought their way out, narrowly escaping to Solaris's ship. Using Solaris's command codes, they hacked into the Cation fleet's systems. After a tense confrontation with the Cation admiral, they presented their evidence. The stunned Cations realized they'd been deceived by Xenan agents. Crisis temporarily averted, Tyler and Solaris knew their work was nowhere near the end. They needed proof to convince both their governments of the Xenan threat. Intelligence pointed to a secret Xenan base. Tyler and Solaris infiltrated the heavily guarded facility, battling waves of advanced Xenan troops. They fought their way to the central database, downloading critical intelligence on the Dominion's plans. With alarms blaring, they fled to the hangar bay. Tyler's eyes locked onto a sleek Xenan cruiser. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" He grinned at Solaris. They hijacked the ship, blasting out of the base. Once in orbit, they broadcast the stolen intel across all human and Cation channels. The evidence was irrefutable, the Xenan deception exposed. In the following days, the human and Cation governments scrambled to unite against this new threat. Tyler and Solaris found themselves appointed as joint commanders of the hastily formed Allied Defense Corps. As they stood on the bridge of their new flagship, surveying the combined human Cation fleet, Tyler turned to his unlikely friend. "You know this isn't going to be easy," he said. "Our people still don't fully trust each other." Solaris nodded gravely. "Indeed, but we have no choice. The Xenans are coming and we must stand together or fall divided." Tyler clasped Solaris's shoulder. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them side by side. Tyler's eyes scanned the tactical display, a web of blinking lights representing the Allied Defense Corps fleet. It was an impressive force, but not nearly enough to face the Xenan threat. "We need more allies," Tyler said, turning to Solaris. "And fast." Solaris nodded, his fur rippling with concern. The Kravak Empire. Their fleets could turn the tide. Hours later, their stealth shuttle touched down on the harsh, rocky world of Kravakia Prime. Plasma cannons tracked their every move as they approached the imposing citadel of the Kravak overlord. Inside the Great Hall, Tyler and Solaris presented their evidence of the Xenan threat to the overlord, a hulking armor-clad figure with 4 arms, each holding a different weapon. "Impressive," the overlord's voice boomed. "But words mean nothing. The Allied forces are weak. Prove your worth or leave." Tyler stepped forward. "I challenge your champion to ritual combat." A ripple of surprise passed through the assembled Kravak warriors. The overlord's eyes narrowed. Then he barked a command. A massive Kravak, easily 3 times Tyler's size, stomped into the arena. The fight was brutal. Tyler dodged and weaved, using his smaller size to his advantage. But the Kravak's blows, when they connected, were devastating. Blood dripped from a gash on Tyler's forehead, his ribs screaming in pain. With a desperate lunge, Tyler managed to sweep the Kravak's legs. As the giant crashed to the ground, Tyler locked him in a chokehold. For agonizing minutes, they grappled on the ground, until finally, the Kravak tapped out. The overlord nodded with grudging respect. "You have earned our alliance." Battered but victorious, Tyler and Solaris next journeyed to the HFY star cluster. The leaders of the psionic mystics subjected them to grueling mental trials. Tyler gritted his teeth as psychic fire seared through his mind. Beside him, Solaris trembled with the strain of resisting the mental assault, but neither broke. Finally, the trials ended. The HFY eldest, a being of pure energy, spoke directly into their minds. "Your will is strong. We shall join your cause." Their final stop was the bustling trade hub of the Vorian Concordance. Tyler and Solaris found themselves caught in a web of political maneuvering as rival factions sought to control the lucrative military contracts. Through careful manipulation and several covert operations, they exposed the corruption of the leading faction. In a tense confrontation broadcast across Vorian space, Tyler presented ironclad evidence of their crimes. The Vorian leadership crumbled, and a new coalition favorable to the Allied cause took control. With their vast industrial capacity now committed to the war effort, the Allies finally had the resources to challenge the Xenons. Back on the Allied command ship, Tyler surveyed the newly expanded fleet with satisfaction. But his victory was short-lived as an argument broke out on the bridge. A Kravak commander snarled at a Vorian merchant captain. "Your ships are weak. They will be the first to fall." The Vorian bristled. "Without our technology, you'd be fighting with sticks and stones." As tempers flared, Tyler exchanged a weary glance with Solaris. The real challenge was just beginning, forging these disparate allies into a unified fighting force before the Xenons arrived. Tyler's boots crunched over the debris-strewn deck of the Allied command ship. Sparks flew from damaged consoles as technicians scrambled to repair systems. He strode onto the bridge, where Solaris stood rigidly, his tail twitching with agitation. "The Kravak are mobilizing their fleet," Solaris reported, gesturing to a tactical display. "They're positioning for a preemptive strike against the Xenons." Tyler cursed under his breath. "And the HFY?" Still insisting on a defensive posture, "They claim their visions foretell catastrophe if we attack first." A thunderous boom shook the ship. On the main view screen, a Kravak battlecruiser fired its engines, breaking formation. "Overlord Krasnak, stand down immediately," Tyler barked into the comm. The Kravak leader's gravelly voice filled the bridge. "Weakness invites destruction, human. We strike now, while the enemy is unprepared." "You'll doom us all," Solaris snarled. Tyler opened his mouth to argue further, but alarms blared across the ship. The tactical officer's eyes widened in horror. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected. It's the Xenons." The view screen flickered, showing a vast armada of sleek biomechanical ships pouring out of swirling vortexes. At their center loomed a colossus, dripping with horrific weaponry. "By the spirits," Solaris whispered. "Is that—" "A planet killer," Tyler confirmed grimly. The Xenan fleet surged forward, obliterating the unprepared Kravak ships. The planet killer powered up, its maw glowing with unfathomable energy. Tyler's mind raced. They needed time, resources, a distraction. "Plot a course for the Vorian system," he ordered, his voice hollow. Solaris whirled on him. "What? We can't abandon—" "We have no choice," Tyler cut him off. "We need to evacuate who we can and use their worlds as bait." Solaris recoiled as if struck. "You can't mean that. An entire civilization." But Tyler was already issuing orders, his face a mask of cold dedication. As the Allied fleet maneuvered, drawing the Xenons towards the unsuspecting Vorians, Solaris watched his friend with growing horror. Hours later, they stood amid the smoldering ruins of the Vorian capital. The stench of death filled the air. In orbit above, the Allied fleet fought a desperate holding action against the Xenon armada. Solaris rounded on Tyler, his eyes blazing. "How could you do this? You humans claim to value life above all else. Your vaunted ethics—" "Sometimes ethics get people killed," Tyler interrupted, his voice devoid of emotion. "I ran the numbers, Solaris. This bought us time, denied the Xenons resources. It was them or everyone." Solaris staggered back, stunned by the cold calculus in Tyler's eyes. He realized that for all their time together, he'd never truly understood the terrifying pragmatism humans were capable of. As they boarded a shuttle to rejoin the battered fleet, Solaris grappled with a chilling thought. To survive this war, to defeat the Xenons, would the Caitians need to embrace this ruthless utilitarianism? Could he bring himself to make such choices? The shuttle rose through the atmosphere, leaving behind a dead world. Solaris stared at Tyler, seeing his friend in a harsh new light. Whatever came next, he knew their relationship and the future of their peoples would never be the same.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.